Hi, Jennifer Malocha here. I want to talk about boundaries, boundaries, and more boundaries. I have been having boundary conversations like nonstop for, gosh, at least a week now. I keep having boundary conversations with a lot of people. And the common thing about boundaries is they show up in so many different ways and they all lead back to the same place. It could, not having the boundary that you might want to have shows up like buying things you don't want to buy, saying yes when you don't want to say yes, or saying no when you want to say yes. It means not doing what you really want to do, or your schedule is out of control and you have this thought, well, if I can just get my schedule under control, then things will be better. And the fact is getting your schedule under control ties back to boundaries, and what ties back to boundaries is what we feel we deserve. And it has to do with how much we love and respect ourselves, which ties back to a Facebook Live that I did earlier, that if you look around your life, look at the home that you live in, the car that you drive, the job that you have, the amount of money in your bank account, all that ties back to what you feel you deserve. And that's what you will have in your life. Nothing more, nothing less, but what you feel you deserve. And it's really fascinating. You can say, yeah, but Jennifer, what about, people who have a lot of money? And, well, okay, so they believe that money's not their issue. Money's not a hot topic for them. Where for a lot of people, it is a hot topic. But those people who have a lot of money, they might be miserable. They might not have the relationships that they want to have. And there's self-confidence and self-esteem are two different things. Self-confidence is the knowing that we have the ability to complete a task, where self-esteem is our self-worth and what we believe our self-worth to be. And they are two very different things. So people who have a lot of self-confidence can make a lot of money. People who have, or not, or people who have self-esteem, they might feel, or self-confidence shows up in, people can have really great relationships, but they don't believe they can have money. And so it all comes back to what we believe we deserve and what we believe that we can have. I was working with a client yesterday, and a belief that she had was love hurts. And even though in the moment she was receiving unconditional love from one of my horses, and I was saying to her, how does it feel to have all this love poured into you, and it has nothing to do with what you look like or what you have or what you're doing? In her mind, she went to a place where it was a yeah, but, and love hurts. And my horse gently stepped on her foot, and he moved right away, but it was the exact same moment. And so the belief in her was love hurts. And so when I was able to say, well, what came up for that? I mean, does that feel familiar? And she's like, well, yeah, because in her mind she had this belief that love hurts. And so I helped her reconstruct that belief, and helped her, sorry, it's kind of windy, helped her let go of that belief and have the realization that love really doesn't have to hurt. It really doesn't have to hurt. And when she had that belief, my horse moved his heart to her heart and just poured the love in. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But we believe we whatever we have in our life is what we feel we deserve to have in our lives. And at any moment we can change that. We can totally change it, because the universe always says yes to us. But we have to believe that it can change. And you can argue for all sorts of limitations. You can argue all sorts of yeah buts, and the truth is we get to create our own realities. And yes, I understand that things happen that aren't fair and they aren't right, and it is upsetting. In those moments, it's up to us to choose how we're going to respond and react to a situation versus just simply reacting. You know, if we choose how to feel and respond versus simply reacting out of a reflex. And that's part of where the boundaries come from. That people don't have a good sense of, I hear this all the time. I know I need better boundaries. And it's like, well, yeah, do you know what having a healthy boundary in your body feels like in your body? You know, do you understand that it comes from knowing what you will and will not tolerate? Do you understand that it comes from truly believing what you are worth and what your value is? Because that's, boundaries are simply a byproduct. And I get really passionate about boundaries because boundaries impact like every area of our life, and allows us to say yes to ourselves, and allows us to earn the money that we deserve to earn. And it just makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. And because there's enough for everyone. There truly is. And the main thing I want to leave you with today is take a look around your life and not only notice what you see in your life, because that's what you feel you deserve, but also look at who you hang out with. And years and years and years and years ago, I attended a training, and the woman who was conducting the training said, look around your life and don't just hang out with the people you feel most comfortable hanging out with. It's important to hang out, have a third of the people that you hang out with where you want to be, and a third of the people where you are, and then a third of the people where you've been. So, and I have this vision in your mind. Hi, Callie. I have this vision in my mind of reaching down to the people of where I was and reaching up to where I want to be, and all of us just going up in an upward trajectory, because none of us are making it out of here alive. And when we do things together, when we are of service to each other, when we believe that we have value, that we are important and we do deserve more, and we act accordingly, then our lives will begin to change. And we are catalysts for change. We are powerful. And if you start to think, well, what can I do? I'm only one person. You can change your life. You can change. You have, Callie, thank you. You have, Callie, the power to change your life. You have it. It's in you. Sometimes we simply need to heal the pain of the past that's impacting our present, holding our future hostage. So we have to take a look at that, and don't be lax when it, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tirade. Don't be lax about the words that come out of your head. Or your mouth. And don't be lax about monitoring the voices in your head. Whose voice is that really? Because when I work with my clients, they have these voices in their head, and it might sound like their voice, but it's not them. It wasn't created by them. It was created by some outside person, and then they took on that truth. And I get really, as you can see, emotional about this, because those voices are liars. They aren't telling the truth. They aren't accurate. And it's when we are able to start identifying those voices and where they came from, and the story that was created when those voices, entered our heads. So don't believe the voices in your head. Don't, learn from them, and begin to identify whose voice they really are and whether or not they're telling the truth. Because some voices, the voices that say things like, Callie, I love you, you're amazing, or Alex, you're brilliant and powerful and deserve all the good. Yeah, those are true. Those are true statements. And the it's really important to be in alignment, because we can say true statements, but if we don't believe it, if we don't believe it in our heart, it isn't going to come to pass. Again, kind of the boundaries thing. Working with a client yesterday, I told her a truth that she absolutely is lovable for no other reason than she exists. And she had a hard time believing that. And so I shared my truth with her. And I said, 4 years ago, it was like the idea, the concept that I was lovable was so far-fetched, that where I could get to was I was likable. And I literally had to write "I am likable" on my bathroom mirror and read it every day. And then I got to the point where I am likable. I'm likable. So that outside truth became an internal truth. And when I got to that internal truth of I am likable, I looked around my life and I looked at all of the people who were really amazing in my life, who loved me. And I came to the realization that they can't all be lying. Not all of them. I mean, maybe some of them were lying that I was lovable, but not all of them. And when I got to the point where I could embrace, if they're not all lying, then they must be telling the truth. Therefore, if they're telling the truth and I know that they're good people, then I am lovable too. And just by being able to share that truth with her, that, I had to get to the point where I was likable in order to get to the point where I was lovable. And that, again, comes back to boundaries. Because when I love me, and I know my value and my worth, and I know what I do and do not want, what I will and will not tolerate, I'm really clear. I don't have to, and my boundary doesn't have to be, my way, because there's no highway option, and what part of no don't you understand, the N or the O? I mean, that's not really a true boundary. That's still, that boundary, and I use it very loosely, is really, you need anger to have that kind of a boundary. The true boundaries, healthy boundaries, are those that you can hold without any anger, without any emotional charge. And that's the thing with so many people, not just women, but a lot of women. But in order for them to have a boundary, they have to be angry. And a true healthy boundary is detached, because I know what I will and will not tolerate. I know, hey Tara, I know what I do and do not want. And so I'm able to say yes and feel really good about it, or no and really good about it. And I don't have to be rude. And I can say, well, that doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work for me. And people say, oh, you don't have to apologize. And it's like, you're right, I don't. But I'm also polite. I'm polite. I'm not going to switch my decision because I know what it is I want. And so but having a healthy boundary, that's all about, knowing my value, knowing my worth, knowing what it is that I truly want in life. And if you find yourself changing plans or compromising simply because you don't want to have a confrontation, or you're conflict avoidant, or you say yes but you really want to say no, or your schedule is out of control, or you look around your life and the things in your life, you like some of the stuff but you don't like all the stuff, well, you deserve more. So take a good hard look. Be open and honest with yourself. Pay attention to the voices in your head. Pay attention to the words that come out of your mouth. And don't say nasty things about yourself. So just don't, because it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anybody. And if somebody pays you a compliment, say thank you and bite your tongue. Just say, don't, oh, this old thing, or, oh, no, please, I look terrible today. Because if somebody gives you a compliment and you do that, then you're taking away from that person. Because that person's trying to give you a gift and you're saying, oh, no, I don't want that gift. That's a whole different conversation. But you know, if you receiving, and that's a whole different conversation too. So I will just add that boundaries are super important, and you can truly have a very firm boundary and never speak a word. You never have to say a word because you own it in your body. You know it, you feel it, you own it, and you can have that boundary. You don't have to be angry, and you don't you can just be polite and say, yeah, that's sorry, that just doesn't work for me, but you have a great day. And you know, you could, like Mary Poppins said, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The no might be the medicine, right? And the I'm sorry, that just doesn't work for me is the sugar that helps the medicine go down. So it's just being polite. If you have any questions and you're watching this live, comment live. If you want me to do a Facebook Live about something that is really near and dear to your heart, or you have questions about, put it in the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, put replay. And if you want to know more about how healthy your boundaries are, then reach out to me and we can have a conversation. But please, please understand, you are so worthy. You are so deserving. You are so lovable and amazing that you deserve all of the awesome, awesome things this world has to offer you. Truly. Huge, huge, huge love to you all. Oh, Callie, yes, I so want to hear your thoughts about receiving gifts, compliments, love. Yes. Oh, you're amazing too. I just love you. I promise you, I'll do a Facebook Live on receiving gifts and compliments and how to do it gracefully. Yes, I will do that tomorrow, I promise. And so I'll make sure to give you a little bit of heads up so that you can watch, okay? Huge, huge, huge love to all of you, and have a truly amazing, amazing day. Mwah.